It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. As of today, we're going to be doing some commentary. We're not talking about music or entertainment in this particular video. Now, as y'all know, I had a pretty big video the other day talking about the young lady who was hired as a brand ambassador to work for Hulk Hogan's, I guess, startup beer company. Unfortunately, she reported to work to do the brand ambassadorship. It was her and a couple of other black women that were there. Unfortunately, they were only allowed to work for a day. After that first day, they received text messages saying that the entire campaign was being canceled. She was hired for an entire week, although it was canceled, so they said not to return for the rest of the week. The very next day, she finds out that all of the black women that were there were replaced by white women. Okay? She came out and told her story on TikTok, and it ended up going viral. And in the midst of talking about that, some more information came across my desk of a separate couple of cases that are actually quite similar. Okay? Now, my page is not known for social commentary so much. We typically delve more into the entertainment atmosphere. But as a black man, as somebody who actually cares about my people, when this stuff does come across every now and then, I do want to talk about it and just have real candid conversations with my insiders. I hope that y'all don't feel like this is too big of a diversion from the typical content that I create. But this shit is just, sometimes we just got to use our platforms for something bigger than just, industry fodder and gossip, right? So we've got Mr. Dwight Jackson from Detroit. Okay. Now, they say that he's filed an employment discrimination lawsuit against a hotel in Detroit, alleging that this hotel only offered him a job interview after he changed the name on his resume, according to a copy of the lawsuit obtained by CNN. Now, Mr. Dwight Jackson has filed a lawsuit against the Shinola Hotel as of July 3rd, alleging he was denied a job when he applied under his own given name, his birth name, who he really is, Dwight Jackson. However, he was later offered an interview when he changed his name to John Jabrowski. The rest of the resume, I assume, was all the same credentials except for his name. The lawsuit alleges Mr. Jackson was denied a job in violation of Michigan Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act. Between January and April 2024, Jackson, a 27-year-old black man, he applied to multiple positions at the Shinola Hotel in downtown Detroit, including a role in reception, according to this lawsuit. On its website, Shinola Hotel claims that they're a quote-unquote luxury hotel. Okay? Now, Mr. Jackson's attorney, John Marco, provided CNN with a copy of Jackson's resume, which details consistent employment, including previous roles as a front desk agent at Detroit's Marriott Westin Book Cadillac and David Whitney Hotel, which used the words luxury and luxurious to describe their respective hotels, which shows that he actually has relevant work experience at other luxury hotels in the city of Detroit. So he should have been qualified at least for some sort of conversation under his given birth name, rather than having to change it to a name that would be a bit more confusing. I guess not confusing, but palatable to the white taste buds. So they say Mr. Jackson had applied for a job that he was eminently qualified for. Mr. Marco is a civil rights attorney. He says, however, Shinola Hotel did not offer him an interview. And it's not like he was expecting to get the job off GP. It was just a simple interview. And he feels like he was only not granted access to a conversation based on his name. And I guess they figured, Dwight Jackson, you got to be a black man. We don't want black at the front of our hotel establishment. According to the lawsuit, Jackson applied to Shinola Hotel twice for similar positions under a more readily apparent Caucasian name with the alias John Jabrowski. Jabroni is what this fucking hotel sound like. Using nearly identical resumes. The resumes have different dates of previous employment, but I guess the same history. At that point, when he filed under this new name, he was offered multiple interviews within the same week. The lawsuit alleges that Jackson established that the defendant's consideration of candidates was based on the racial appearance of the applicant's name. Furthermore, they state to be denied a job in 2024 in your own hometown for the color of your skin goes beyond dollars and cents. It goes into the psyche of a person. Sage Hospitality Group is Shinola Hotel's operating partner. Miss Anna Stancioff, Sage's Hospitality Senior Corporate Director of PR and Brand Communications. PR and Communications. Y'all probably should have got somebody not associated with the PR department to make this statement. She could have written it up and maybe passed it along to a general manager or somebody to make it seem a little bit halfway authentic. But we'll keep going, man. She said in an email Tuesday, we take this allegation very seriously and we do not tolerate discrimination of any kind. We are committed to fostering an inclusive workplace where everyone has the opportunity to succeed and are dedicated to building a diverse workforce that reflects the community. According to the attorney Marco, Jackson attended this job interview and confronted the interviewer at Shinola Hotel. He revealed his true identity and expressed his belief that he was not given an interview initially because his name appeared more traditionally African American. Shortly after Jackson underwent the interview process, he was informed that he was no longer a viable candidate for the position, despite his experience at luxury hotels as a front desk operator. You can't write this shit up any better. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference? Marco says employment discrimination is not unusual. He added, as a civil rights attorney, we've seen a lot of discrimination in hiring, especially when it comes to the exclusion of minorities and individuals who have minority-sounding names. Of course, in the black community, we've all known that this was a real thing. We've all had conversations over the course of our lives about names, urban names, traditional black names, African names, or, just names that have origins in other countries and cultures. And people come to America and, they give their children more traditional American names once they cross the border and receive citizenship so that they don't have the same hardships in life. I have an African friend. He's from Nigeria. Well, he was born in America, but his family's from Nigeria, right? He's got a traditional name. His name is Mayowa. But when they moved to the States, he now goes by John. I hate to put your fucking identity out there, bro, but I'm just saying, it's just that type of shit that people are doing to try and make life more comfortable for American consumption or lifestyle. But what the fuck? Like, what does my name have to do anything with my ability to perform the tasks at a job? If you look at my resume and you feel as if it fits into what you're looking for, clearly it does, because the exact resume with a different name and a couple of dates changed on the employment. Just so y'all see, it's not an identical submission. You you brought in the other person with the more palatable name, John Jabrowski, John Jabroni. Come the fuck on, man. Get real about life. A recent study published by the National Bureau of Economic Research found that name bias is a prevalent issue in the hiring process. Researchers sent out identical resumes to 108 U.S. employers to analyze whether race and gender affected callback rates for job applications. Resumes with black male and black female names received the fewest of the callbacks. But Marco says proving cases of name bias is extremely challenging, and most of these cases never get off the ground due to a lack of evidence. Jackson's case is, however, different because he applied twice for similar positions with nearly the exact same resume, and it yielded different results when he used the alias. So he at least had the gall, the audacity to say, you know what? I'm going to try this shit. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there Otherwise, that wouldn't. They would have accepted that they didn't get a call back, that they didn't get an interview offer, and would have just kept filing for other jobs. Clearly, he really wanted this job at this hotel at the Shinola. Fuck yeah. Hopefully, I never have to stay there. But luckily, he attempted to do so that he could provide evidence and provide some sort of account of what happened, because he actually got invited up there under the John Jabrowski name. Marco says Jackson wanted to shed light on this problem that's not just isolated at the Shinola Hotel, not just isolated in Detroit or Michigan, but across the country. He wants to make sure that it doesn't happen to anyone else. Now, Mr. Dwight, unfortunately, we can't ensure that this ain't going to happen to nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Even if you happen to win, if you get a settlement, if you get some sort of financial compensation, it's going to turn out better for you, but the next person may have to go through the same issue, right? They may think twice about it. They may try to find ways to be more slick or sly about this thing, but unfortunately, people are just fucking dickheads. People are assholes. People are jackasses in this world. And even legal pressure doesn't change the character of these types of people. Now, in the process of reading about this, I actually came across another one. This was from earlier this year, but I want to talk about it because it's relevant. We've got Sheetz gas station that became infamous, and it wasn't for the gas. Okay? Now, Sheetz gas station, I guess it's pretty popular in Pittsburgh. And they're a convenience store chain with a gas station attached. You know what I mean? They're in hot water after federal officials slapped them with the racial discrimination lawsuit, and the details, they say, are seriously worth unpacking. The EEOC, and I'm glad that the EEOC has been mentioned in this particular instance, because I had to educate somebody, or I won't even say educate, but enlighten somebody about the presence of the EEOC, because he said anyone that runs a business or a company should be able to fire somebody for any reason they want. I said, tell that shit to the EEOC. He said, who's the EEOC? I said, Google it, bitch. The hell you want me to tell you for? Look it up. I gave you 4 letters, put them in Google, it'll come right up. I'm supposed to do all the work for you? Excuse me? Anyway, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission filed a lawsuit against the massive chain. Oh, this one is in Baltimore. The company is based in Altoona, Pennsylvania, but operates 600 locations across 6 different states, including Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, Ohio, and North Carolina. Or as my homie on the wood said, North Carolina. The interesting part about the case is that the EEOC is alleging Sheetz discriminated against minority applicants. According to the government, Sheetz used the practice of screening all job applications for criminal convictions. The EEOC charges that Sheetz hiring practices disproportionately screened out Black, Native American, Alaska Native, and multiracial applicants. So this is not just based on blackness, but just people of any kind of color. These niggas ain't even want the Alaskans. Shit. The EEOC isn't just accusing the company of being motivated by race in their hiring practices. However, they argue that the application of this hiring standard violates the disparate impact discrimination provision of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. According to the Associated Press, the EEOC found that Black job applicants were screened at a rate of 14.5%, while white applicants were screened out at a rate of 8%. Federal law mandates that employment practices causing a disparate impact because of race or other protected classifications must be shown by the employer to be necessary to ensure the safe and efficient performance of the particular job at issue. Even when such necessity is proven, the practice remains unlawful if there is an alternative practice available that is comparably effective in achieving the employer's goals, but causes less discriminatory effect. According to the Associated Press, the commission alerted Sheetz in 2022 that they were violating civil rights law, but were unable to reach a settlement. For their part, Sheetz told the Associated Press that they do not tolerate discrimination of any kind. They put out a statement of their own stating diversity and inclusion are essential parts of who we are. We take these allegations seriously. We have attempted to work with the EEOC for nearly 8 years to find common ground and resolve this dispute. Y'all been on this shit for 8 years and ain't found a resolution? Come on, man. Sounds about white to me. 8 years. Shit, but anybody waiting on that money, goddamn, might have got put out there home. That's the one crazy thing about some of this stuff. I've got family that's been through the EEOC process and has actually won settlements, but when you go to the EEOC and you put out these motherfucking these claims and you really ready to go to war, you got a plan to go to war. You know what I'm saying? What they say? You don't go to war with no money, with no weaponry, without no team. You need the entire gamut if you're going to go against these corporations when it comes to especially discrimination, whether it be race, age, health, because, you know, in today's day and age, they're being tougher with older people, trying to make it seem like they're incapable of doing jobs. People with underlying health issues, they try to make it seem like whatever you're dealing with is hindering your ability to do your job. People that may have some sort of disability but still can conduct their work, they don't want to do that. Nobody wants to pay for that these days. They want to make it hard for you. They want to fire your ass, all type of shit. And in a lot of these states, you know, a lot of these states are at will states as well. You could be fired at any moment and not really need an explanation. They just don't own with your ass. So you got to have some resources in your corner. You got to be well studied, well read, and you got to take it up with some real professionals if you think you're gonna get any results. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm gonna say best wishes for Mr. Dwight Jackson. I hope that he's able to come out on top. You know what I'm saying? Out there in Detroit. I don't know what it's going to take for the EEOC to finalize the settlement with this Sheetz gas station out there in Baltimore and in other places where they've also been called under and put under fire for the same shit. But I hope everybody that is involved gets exactly what they're looking for. They're compensated fairly. They're compensated for their time. 8 years, motherfucker, you better pay me handsomely. Right? And I'm glad that people are continuing to stand on their square and expose these motherfuckers for their racial bias, right? I even saw some idiots that were like, man, since when are we supposed to expect white people to like us? I said, who the fuck expects them to like us? It ain't about like. It's about doing a job. You fucking dick. I don't need you to like me. I need you to pay me. I come here to perform a task. I ain't come here looking for friendship. You know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna be an entrepreneur out this bitch. A lot of entrepreneurs ain't really entrepreneurs out this bitch. Motherfuckers is failing. Okay? Everybody with a little business here. Everybody that's making a little soap here. Everybody that's doing a goddamn consultation here and there ain't. They need some consultations themselves. They need to seek out some consulting for themselves. So don't come to me with this motherfucking do-gooder ass philosophy. Oh, well, that should be expected. All right, so if everybody start losing jobs based on racial discrimination, I bet your ass gonna be screaming, crying, looking for help. Your ass gonna be sitting in that shower having a long conversation with yourself and God. So please have some empathy for people that's going through real shit in this world. Don't be a bitch about it. Have a heart. Understand that anybody can find themselves under the gun. Okay? Now, I ain't trying to be here all day and night talking about this shit, but I just wanted to talk about it because I felt it was on my heart. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, since we in that mode and I just happened to run across something else, I didn't even go looking for it. I was like, you know what? This could be an extension of the channel for me to talk about social issues and things that are going on. Not all things are going to get spoken about, especially stuff that if I don't have time to like really delve into it. Somebody asked me about Project 2025. That shit is a lot. You know, there's a lot of implications that come with it. And, you know, that's some shit that it'll have you on a rabbit hole making fear mongering content, which ain't me at all. So, I suggest if you really want to know about that, go do the research yourself, educate yourself. And I'll do the same on my end. And perhaps after I find, what I'm looking for, I may talk about it. But that's what I got for y'all on this one. Much love and respect. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be safe out there. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden, they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.